So here's my take on this. My question for you is that it depends on your ambition. What is your ambition that you want to accomplish, and what tone do you want to set based on that ambition? So let's work backwards. If you want to achieve a culture of accountability and engagement, and that's what you're trying to strive for, because remember, you want your job to be easy as a manager. So the way you do that is you have to build a culture of accountability and ownership. Because what that means is that people are buying into what you believe and what you're saying, right? And they're doing your thing or the expectations that you want them to do without any pushback. They're like, yes, boss, I'm with you and I'm all in. Before you get there, you've got to do a lot of work up front in order for your culture to be in that mindset of accountability and ownership. So when doing that, so what do? Right? You've got to understand what the work is and how to set reasonable expectations of the work and create a plan for success. So how do you do that? You have to understand all the fundamentals of management in order to get there. You've got to know how to assess skills, how to assess work, what the reasonable expectation is, what the standard of work, what planning is, what forecasting is, how to create action plans, how to understand barriers and lost time, and how to do KPIs and goal setting and all those different things so that your team can create a plan for success and execute work. So you're asking what the tone is. The tone is a form of accountability and ownership for the team, that you're there to guide them and help them be successful as long as you're executing work to the expectations provided, right? So what happens in the scenario is many managers make an attempt to create a tone at the very beginning without really understanding what the end goal is, right? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey once said, keep the end in mind. Keep the end. What is the end in mind? The end in mind is that you want to create a culture of accountability and ownership so they can execute to the objectives of the organization to meet customer demand. And by doing that, you're creating value. As a manager, you're creating value for the organization, for yourself, because you're productive and efficient, and for your team, showing that they're productive and efficient. So to answer your question, the tone you want to set with your team is that you want them to be successful. You want them to be successful both personally and professionally in their role to create value for the team and for the organization. And you're there to help them do that. When I say you're going to help them do that you're going to create the framework for them to go to get in and just execute. They're not going to be making decisions for you as a manager. You're going to have to create all this framework for them to execute work. And that's the tone that I definitely recommend.